So, good afternoon, everyone. So, we are here to report about the 1872 Cavite Mutiny. So, the reporters are yours truly and Miss Bacasnot Reina and Sarsina Naiza. The 140 years ago, on January 20, 1872, about 200 Filipino military personnel of Fort San Felipe Arsenal in Cavite, Philippines, staged a mutiny which in a way led to the Philippine Revolution in 1876. The 1872 Cavite Mutiny was precipitated by the removal of long-standing personal benefits to the workers such as tax and forced labor exemptions on order from the Governor-General Rafael de Esquerdo. Esquerdo replaced Governor General Carlos Maria de la Torre some months before in 1871 and immediately rescinded in Torres' liberal measures and imposed his iron fist rule. He was opposed to any hint of reformist or nationalistic movements in the Philippines. He was in office for less than 2 years, but he will be remembered for his cruelty to the Filipinos and the barbaric execution of the three martyr priests blamed for the mutiny: Father Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora, later collectively called Gomborza. So we made this mutiny because of the removal of long-standing personnel benefits to the workers, such as task and forced labor ordered by the Governor General Esquerdo. So yes to mutiny. The Spanish government in Manila sent a battalion under General Felipe Genoves. The next day, a regiment led by General Felipe Genoves besieged the fort until the mutineers surrendered. Genoves then ordered his troops to fire at those who surrendered, including La Madrid. The rebels were formed in a line. When Col Sabas asked who would not cry out, Viva Espanza, and shot the one man who stepped forward. The remainder were sent to prison. Let's go to the fort and recover it. We should stop and kill them. The mutiny was quickly cluttered. Governor Rafael de Esquerdo magnified the incident and used it as an excuse to clamp down on those Filipinos who had been calling for governmental reform. The besieged mutiny was quelled. Mutineers were led by Sergeant Fernando Lamadrid. They seized the fort and killed the Spanish officers. Fearing a general uprising, the Spanish government in Manila sent a regiment under General Felipe Genoves to recover the fort. The besieged mutiny was quelled and many mutineers, including Sergeant Lamadrid, were killed. Later, others were sentenced to death or hard labor. Your leader, Sergeant Lamadrid, is already dead, and all of you will be sentenced to death on hand labor because of the rebellion you've done against the government.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Reina Mariba Caslat, and I'm going to continue the report of Miss Ata. Skerdo used the mutiny to implicate Gomborza and other notable Filipinos known for their liberal leanings. Prominent Filipinos, such as priests, professionals, and businessmen, were arrested on flimsy and trumped up charges and sentenced to prison, death, or exile. These include Joaquin Pardo de Tavera, Jose Basa, and Antonio Emeridor. It was said that the Cavite mutineers got their cue from Manila when they saw and heard fireworks across the Manila Bay, which was really a celebration of the feast of the Lady of Loreto in Sampaloc. On February 17, 1872, at 7 a.m. in Bagumbayan, when the Archbishop of Manila, Reverend Militon Martinez, refused to cooperate and defrock the priest, the Spanish court-martial on February 15 went ahead and maliciously found Fathers Gomez, Burgos, and Zamora guilty for treason of instigating the Cavite Mutiny. 2 days later, the three priests were put to death by Garrett in Bagumbayan, now known as Luneta. Garrote was a barbaric Spanish method of execution in which an iron collar was tightened around the prisoner's neck until death occurred.
So, in continuation, the next to be executed will be Father Zamora, followed by Father Gomez, and lastly Father Burgos. The three priests were stripped of their albs and with chained hands and feet were brought to their cells after their sentence. They received numerous visits from folks coming from Cavite, Bulacan, and elsewhere. 40,000 Filipinos came to Luneta to witness and quietly condemn the execution, and Gumborza became a rallying catchword for the downtrodden Filipinos seeking justice and freedom from Spain. The friars used to use the incident as a part of a larger conspiracy to cement their dominance, which had started to show cracks because of the discontent of the Filipinos. They showcased the mutiny as a part of a greater conspiracy in the Philippines by Filipinos to overthrow the Spanish government. Unintentionally, and more so, prophetically, the Cavite Mutiny of 1872 resulted in the martyrdom of Gomborza, paving the way to the revolution culminating in 1898. On the dedication page of his second book, El Filibusterismo, published in 1891, Dr. Jose Rizal wrote, I dedicate my work to you as victims of the evil which I undertake to combat. These events are significant highlights in the Philippine history and have caused ripples right through time, directly influencing the decisive events of the Philippines Revolution toward the end of the century. These are considered as major factor in the awakening of nationalism among the Filipinos of that time and will continue to serve as one up until these present times.